Hello, hello. This is Pauline from Pauline Art Stuff. Today we're gonna have a Disney session. So I'm gonna show you how I color in my Disney mystery book, specifically this one. And we're gonna use the Thule Art acrylic markers, which I've got a few sets of, which I have swatches of on these papers. And I'm gonna show you how I pick out my colors. And then we're gonna color the page together. And yeah, that's the plan for today. So first we're gonna pick out a page. And I have a paper on the front of my book with the pages that are options for my hashtags that I'm following. And I see we have 4 options. So we've got page 32, 42, 45 and 60. I will tell you that this video will contain spoilers for what it will be. So I'm now gonna plop to the page that we're gonna pick one, and I'm gonna show you the answer key in the back of the book. So if you don't want any spoilers, I would suggest you to not look. And if not, then here we go. So we're first gonna look up number 32, which should be a Dumbo page, which is this one. So that's Dumbo, so that's an option. And the colors seem to be printed fine, so this one we could just follow the color key, because sometimes the pictures are a bit dark how they are printed. So the next option is number 42, which is the shark from Finding Nemo, I think. Yeah. And then this is the next option, Beauty and the Beast. I think I want to do that one because that's my favorite movie. And the last option we have is number 60. So let's see what that is. Yes, also a little elephant from Jungle Book. Oh, that's also so cute. But no, we're not gonna do that one. We're gonna do Beauty and the Beast because it's my favorite Disney movie after Ariel. Ariel is my second favorite. They're actually sharing the first spot, but Beauty and the Beast was always my favorite. So yeah, we're gonna do Beauty and the Beast. But as you can tell, the colors are much darker than in the movie. So, and it's also weird that the background is completely brown because they're dancing in the ballroom, I suppose. And I believe the background is more like a gold color or pinkish, I believe. So yeah, we're gonna change that. But we also have to adjust the colors to for his skin. And also, they're just all dark except for the yellow. Everything else is too dark. So we have to adjust that. So what we're gonna do now is I've got my swatches here, and I'm gonna go to the page 45, which is this one. And then I'm gonna look at the color key down here, as you can tell. And I'm taking my swatch sheet and I pick a pencil in case I do it wrong. And I'm gonna look. So the first one is just black, so we're gonna pick that one. So I write down 99 below it in pencil. Then we've got 3 shades of blue, and I'm just gonna check where they have it in the picture. So I see number 2 is on his jacket probably, and number 1 is also on his jacket. That's the line work. The line work is really big. As you can see, this is the like almost pencil thickness. They're really thick lines in this book. This is a really easy, friendly book for beginners. So if you would like to try it out, you could. The first ones were much easier than later versions. So I think that will be a bit too dark. So let me look in the back again. So number 2 is this whole side, and number 3 is next to it. And where's number 4 then? Oh, that's in his eye. Okay, so that's not important. That one should be fine because it's light enough. So we're gonna pick 2 blue colors for his coat, I think. Let me check. So I usually flip back and forth to check if that's true. Yeah. Number 2 is the dark one. So I'm gonna do it like this. Let me see. Yeah. Number 2, which is over here next to the black line. So that's indeed the darkest bit of his coat. And number 3 is the one beside it. So that means that we want a darker blue and a bright blue. Because in the movie, he wears more like a color that looks like this one. Really bright blue. So I want to at least pick that one. But I don't want that to be the dark, I want that to be the darkest color. And then a brighter blue for the highlighted part. So I think I'm gonna go for the blue purple number 7. And then for the darker shade, we take Essential 14. So that's what I'm gonna write down. So I'm gonna write down blue purple 7 for number 3. And Essential 14 for the darker shade. I'm just using the abbreviation like E for essential, BP for blue purple. That's how I usually know which set to pick from. So those are the 2 blues. Then we've got a lighter blue. As you can see, these are the only options that we have. And I think this might be a bit too dark. What else do we have? That's too gray. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go for the blue purple one. It's probably in both their eyes, so blue purple 1. And then we've got a red and a pink. Let me check. Is that for her lips maybe? Yes, it's her lips. So the number 5, the dark one, is her upper lip, and number 6 is her lower lip. I think that should be fine. So let's pick colors that look like it. We have to pick probably from one of these. I really like this one. And then probably the one next to it. I think it's a bit too red, so probably that one. So number 19 and number 14 from Wildflower. So I'm gonna write down WF on both. And then for number 5, I pick this one, number 14. And this pink for the number 6, which is number 19. Then we've got a whole bunch of browns. Let me see. Oh, and this is the background color, the one on the total right. So this one I want to change. So this one is no good to me. That's something we're going to pick out last. So we have an overview. Number 7 is... This is the only downside to having a picture that doesn't look exactly the same in the back, that you have to match your own colors. I see number 7 is here next to... Oh, in her hair. Oh, it's a hair color. And his nose. Okay, let me check. So it's this part of his nose. There. And the dark shade of her hair. But her hair in the movie is more like a warm brown. Like these tones. That's more what is used in the movie. I think we should be fine with these 2 for the hair then. So maybe that one is a bit too red, so maybe I should go for that one and the orange brown. So that's what I'm gonna do to make it more similar to the movie. So number 7, there are even more, number 9 and 0. Oh, that's him. Okay, that's fine then. So these 2 are from Belle. So we're gonna pick out number 21 from the earth tone for number 8. Earth tone 21. And then number 15 for the darkest shade of her hair and his nose. Okay, then for his fur, there's number 9 and number 0, which are these 2. So let's move back to the back again. Let's see, there are even 3 shades in his fur. There's this one, that one, and that one. So there are 3 different browns. And in the movie, this part is next to his face is darker, and these bits are lighter, and his nose as well, and his eyebrow as well. So that one I want a lot lighter, and these ones I want a warmer tone. They're okay for everything else. Let me see which one is on his beard. Let's just call it his beard. 0 and 9 are on his beard. And the number 9 is also on parts of this. So this shade is the same as that one, so we have to keep that in mind. So that one I want to be the one that is more similar to his fur. So I at least want a nice brown. Let me see if I have any other browns that could be working. Maybe that one. Yeah, it's tough. It's a bit too muted in my opinion. That one we used for her. That's his nose, so that's also something to keep in mind. Yeah, this is difficult. I am not gonna lie, this is a difficult one to pick colors for, because I know what it looks like in the movie and it doesn't look anywhere similar, so I hate it. So we have to fix it. I think for his eyebrows and his beard, I'm probably gonna go this really light color, earth tone 23, or maybe there's something more muted, because this one is pretty yellow. This one is too muted. So I think that one could be a nice shading color for his, yes. So 23 from the earth tone for the lightest one, which is number 0. Yeah, this is going to be difficult. But 0 is really only in the highlight, so I should be fine. So earth tone 23. If I don't like it, I will go over it later. Once we've done it, then the shading, I wanted a warmer tone. This one, the skin tone for number 9. Does that look also nice on his fur? Maybe not. That's the difficulty with this. No, we're gonna change this because this is then too light, because it's also on his fur. So we're gonna take this one as the highlight, which is skin tone 17. This is usually what takes the longest when doing these mystery paintings. And then we're gonna pick number 18 for the number 9, because that's also his fur. Skin tone, not an E, Pauline. Skin tone 18. And then we have some yellows. What else does he have in his fur? Earth tone 21. Oh yes, yes, that should be fine. It also has number 8 over there, and we picked earth tone 21, which is this warm color. And then together with the skin tone, let me check. Difficult, really difficult. I don't think I like that on his darker bits of his skin, so I'm gonna change it for that part. So that's something I have to keep in mind. So I think, because this one is the dark, not the darkest bit, the other one. So I think I'm gonna go for a really warm brown for that one then. So I'm gonna write it on top. So I want earth tone 18, and then I write down beast, so I know I want to change it up. Sometimes I just make changes like that because I don't like it if it doesn't look like it's supposed to. Then we've got these yellows, A, B, and C. Let me see, that's her dress. The A and B is her the strap of her dress. It's this part. Yes, it's not the strap, it's below. Yeah, number C is the strap. So this lighter one is the strap, and then B and the other one are the other two, but they are fine. So we're gonna keep those the same. So we're just gonna pick something that matches. So for this one, I'm gonna pick Wildflower 7. It's our lightest tone. Then the next one, I think I'm gonna go for, because I also need a little bit darker. Let's see, yeah, Wildflower 8 for the B, which are these two for the lightest. And then I think I want this one, it's the darkest, which that's A. I don't have anything else that's closer because this is too dark. So I think I'm gonna go for the earth tone 22. This is really the work that you have to put in before you start. Then her skin is D and E, which are these tones. They're totally off. That's not a skin tone. She is not that dark. So instead, I think I'm gonna go for really warm colors like these two, or this one and that one. I think that's better because she's really light-skinned in the movie and a bit pinkish. So I'm gonna do Wildflower 16, which is that one for the light tone, and for the darker tone we do Wildflower 12. So that's all the colors on them. And then we need one for the background, which is F. It's all around them. And as far as I know from the movie, I think this is the background of the wall. Let me check. This is her. This is her hair. These are all F, 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 F. What's this? This is 1. So this part is black. It's just swirly bits. Yeah, it's the panels of the ballroom. So that means it's more of a warm tone. Let me see. And it's a bit goldish, warm tone. But I don't want to make it any of these because she already has that on her dress. So I do want her to stick out. So I might go for that one we used in her skin. Does that look nice if I use it in the skin? No, we need something darker. So maybe we go for 11 because that's a little bit darker, but it's still goldish. So that's what we're going to do for the background to make it more true to the movie. We're just going to change it up. So, and then we've got all our colors. So now we can start. So how do we do this? I'm going to put these to the side. Then I've got a paper on which I can prime my markers, my acrylic markers. And I've got a piece of tissue. And this is where I wipe off the overflow of paint that comes off. And then I also got a cup of water, which I'm going to open once I start. So because if the let me just grab one. These are the markers that we're going to use. And if I open it up, you see these are extra fine points. But as you can tell, there are dried up bits of paint on it. So usually before I close it up, I usually make this wet and then I wipe it off. Like I do like this movement. So you wipe it off. But as you can see, it's still good. This one is not dried up. Let's close it back up. But yeah, that's what I usually do before I close it up and before I begin as well. So the old paint is gone. But you have to wet the towel. Otherwise it doesn't work. Also, the way people like to do these kind of things is that they start with the black lines. I would suggest you not to do that. Because if you make mistakes with filling in any of the other parts, and you have to do the lines afterwards, you can go over your wobbly bits and fix it. And the other way around is much harder. When you have black down and you have to color a lighter tone on it, it's more difficult. So I'm gonna put a thick piece of cardboard behind it, as you can tell. So I'm gonna put it all the way behind it, a bit more to the top, to make it a bit more firm, because otherwise the page is sometimes a bit squishy. And then I'm gonna put some clips down on the bottom and the top to hold it in place while we color. If I can manage this with my hand. Oh my god, let me move it a little bit. Oof, yeah. Okay, so now it's stuck. As you can tell, it's not flopping around like this side, you know. It is still floppy, but less. So that's what I like to do before I start. So this I'm gonna put away because we don't need the pencil anymore. Then we're just gonna start. It doesn't matter where you start, just start with something. So I think I'm gonna start in top left corner. So let me move you a little bit. We will edit this out. And now we're gonna start. So we're gonna start with number 9. And number 9 is skin tone 18. So now I'm gonna go to my markers and I'm gonna pick out skin tone 18. Let me check. Yes. On the acrylic marker you can see the name. It says skin, and then on the top bit it says number 18. Yeah, it doesn't really focus. So that's the one we're gonna start with, which is on the top right bits of his skin. So that's what we're gonna do. But first we've got to prime it. So we're gonna, as you can hear, there's no ball rolling. So I'm gonna flick it, and then hopefully it will, yes, that's the sound you wanna make. And you're just gonna slowly shake it up and down for like 10 seconds or so. You don't wanna do this too much, because then it will flow out afterwards. So this should be fine. That should be enough shaking. So now I'm not gonna hold it like this. I'm gonna hold it up, and I'm gonna take this off. Put this to the side, and then I'm first gonna wipe it on a dry towel to see if there's any excess bits all around. And it seems like this one is fine. As you can tell, there are no stuck bits, just maybe a little. So let me wet it a little bit, the towel. Let's close this back up before I ruin anything. So I'm gonna open up my cup. This can be a little bit troublesome for some people. So I'm gonna wet it with my fingers. Just gonna dip it in, and I'm just gonna do like that. And then it's a little bit moist. So that I'm gonna put down there. I'm gonna take it off again. I'm gonna put that over to the side so I know which color I have. And I'm just gonna do like this. As you can see, it dissolves. This is really dark, and this is much lighter because you wetten it up. So the acrylic paint dissolves. So now your marker is much cleaner. Now you also got to check if there are any hairs or something on the top. Take it off. Then you're gonna press it in like that to release the air from the shaking. And then you can put this to the side, and you take your paper, and you sometimes you have to press it, but this one is probably already all right. No, it's not. So we're gonna press it slowly and release it slowly, and then it's probably fine, because otherwise it's gonna overflow. Yeah, this is all right. So now we can start. So I'm just gonna move this a little bit so I can color next to it, and I am gonna move the book always, like to all sides, to make it easier on myself. So if you don't like that, bad luck, because this is already hard enough. Because as you can see, I'm a little bit shaky today. That's why I'm gonna do this instead, because this is less hard for me than normal coloring. This is really relaxing. And then I'm just gonna fill it up, slowly filling it up. And here's also number 9. But as you can tell, this can take quite a bit of time because of all the small bits, but they're also really large bits. But since my pens are all extra fine point, this just takes time. So usually I follow the lines that I can tell are still number 9 all the way till there, and I go around them. So I've got an outline of what I wanna paint. That's what most people tend to do. This is number 8, so that's a different color. So I'm gonna go like this, outline it, and one on the left as well, like that. So that's the outline. And now I can just fill this in. So you can just make movements like this, slowly or fast, how fast you want. Don't press too hard, because then you hear like and you also scrape off the old paint. Then you're pressing too hard. Keep your touch light to the paper, so you don't hear the scratching sound. And then the ink also flows usually better. If it doesn't flow, pump it again and use your paper to test out if the flow is good. You don't want it overflowing, but like if you can see what I'm doing right here, if that's how much ink you get or how much paint you get, you're doing it all right. If you get too much, then first color a bit on a piece of paper outside of your book, because you don't want too much flow. It will ruin your page. But yeah, because I'm using a finer nib, this takes longer, because with a larger nib you can cover way more ground than what I can. So this just takes longer. I don't own any medium tips. I only own fine tips. So yeah, this just takes longer, but it's still doable, as you can tell. So that's that part. Now I'm gonna check if there's any more. Yeah, there's another part over here that is also number 9. This is also number 9, so let's do this part. That's number 8. This is number 9, so number 8 and number 9. All right, all the way till there. This is the line, the black line again. Sometimes I like to go make 2 lines separate next to each other, so it's thicker, so we've got an easier time filling it in afterwards. Especially if this costs a lot of trouble with coordination, then I recommend you to do the same, because that's also usually my issue, that my hand is too shaky when I'm filling in. And then this helps a lot if you make 2 separate lines next to each other, so that you don't go over it while filling in. Because this is like the size of the nib, which is much smaller than what I did here. So I'm gonna add another line next to it. And sometimes even another, just to make it thick. And I'm gonna do the same with this part, to make it easier on myself. As you can see, you can take your time. Don't have to be fast. You can just take your time and slowly add them. Don't try to go over the bits that you've already painted, because you might scratch off the paint that you just laid down. So you don't want to immediately go over this, because the moment it starts drying, you can scrape it off with a tip, because it's a plastic tip and it doesn't like to go over what you just put down until it's completely dry. So if your acrylic markers are not so opaque, you might want to do another layer once it's dry. So then you just go over it another time, like what we're doing right now. But for this one, it's not necessary, as you can see. It covers really nice. It's really opaque paint, which I like. Now you can hear the scratchy bit of the tip. That's still fine, as long as it's not like too bad. The ink is still flowing enough. The ink, the paint, people, the paint. Keep saying ink. It's because I used to use markers in my other book. That's what I started out with, but I don't like it on this paper, so I stopped using them. That's why I switched to these paints, the paint pens. It's less messy than using a paintbrush. So yeah, I hope you're liking this special edition today, the Disney edition. So yeah, I'm just gonna slowly chip away at every bit. That's 0. This is still number 9. That's what we're doing. If you're not sure which color you use, you've got your lid and your pen to check. You can check it as many times as you like if you're not sure if you're using the right color. Because yeah, you can mess this up as well by picking the wrong color, using it on the wrong bits. And yes, it happened before. I'm speaking out of experience. Usually you catch on to it because you know what the picture will be. Number 9 is going all the way there. Okay. As you can see, I'm really taking my time. There's no need to rush unless you want to. But in this way, I still have the control that I want. So I'm gonna fill in this part because there's more below it, but I'm afraid that if I do that first, I'm gonna stick my hand into it, and it's not something I want to do. That's also the reason why I started in the top left bit, because I'm right-handed. So if you're a left-handed person, you might want to start in the opposite corner, so that your hand doesn't lay in the paint. So that's not something we want to do. I see I missed a part here, so let's do that as well. Number 9. No. Yeah, it's still flowing. I just thought my ink flow was going away, Sometimes that happens, and then you just have to prime it a little bit. Yeah, it's going away. So I'm gonna prime it a little bit. So I'm gonna push it. Do you see that? The dried up paint? See? Because I pressed it. It was a bit of dry paint on it. So in order to fix that, I'm gonna rub it against the wettened bit on my piece of paper. And we're gonna continue. I think the ink flow is good again. And then we just continue. So if you need to do that more often, because some colors dry up like a lot and have a lot of flow and some don't, it really depends on the pen. Just do the cleaning process in between again, you know, do it more often in between while you're coloring and also afterwards. That will keep your pens clean, because the moment the tip gets really like clunked with all kind of dried up paint on the outside, it gets clogged also inside. And some paints are also a lot thicker than others, and they clog up even while just doing this. So those are a bit nasty, and there's not much you can do to fix that. Just keep that in mind. There are some colors that are like that, and there's also some colors that are really watery. No matter what you do, no matter how long you wait, no matter how carefully you shake them, they're still watery. It's just the paint not mixing well. I've contacted Touliard about it, but they just said leave it for a couple of days, try it again, don't shake too much. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't work. Too bad. But yeah, that happens. Some colors are just a bit more unstable, I guess. Unstable. So we just have to deal with it. Bad luck. I actually bought a new one for that color, and it had the exact same issue. And it's literally only that color in the whole set that I bought that had that issue. Everything else was fine after what they told me to do. So yeah, there are no more number 9s here. Okay, let's move down. There's still number 9 here. As you can see, this is already completely dry. And sometimes there's little bits of paint on top of it, and you can scrape it off carefully with your nail or your finger. But I like to do that at the end, once I'm done. And I let it dry overnight. As you can see, this takes up quite a bit of time. So I'm not going very fast. This is meant to be relaxing. This is not a speed race, you know. It's not a race, how to finish first. And then I look at those TikTok reels of people using those big markers, and they've got this covered in like 2 seconds. And there I am, 10 minutes later, still covering the same spot. Yeah, it is what it is. It's about the process, not the progress, you know. Like now it's not working, you saw? But I don't want to pump it too much, because then it's overflowing, and that's much more difficult to handle, because then you can't really make these fine lines. You have to work fast in order to use up the ink, and without having all those blobs. But yeah, it's getting too dry again, so I'm gonna pump it one time, and it's fine again. That happens. It's just the way it goes. But as you can tell, it's much wetter now than it was before I pumped it. So I've got to work a little bit faster now. Just a little bit, not too much. Let me see, I'm still in the frame. Yes, you can still see what I'm doing. This is also number 9, number 0. So it's going here. Filling in this bit. So don't get confused later. And this is 0, this is 9. Alright, so it goes like this and like this. And that's usually how I figure it out, where to go to. And then I just slowly fill it in again. This might seem boring to some, when others are addicted to it, because it's so relaxing. And I fall in the second category. I'm addicted to this. This is my my comfort coloring for when I'm not feeling too well, but I still want to color. And it's already not working too well. Let me try it one more time. Yeah, it seems okay. Yeah, it's much wetter again. All right, let's check. Number 9. This is a jacket, so probably not. Maybe in her eyes. There are tiny little bits on her eyes with this color. Now at least you know where her eyes are gonna be. There we go. Any more number 9? No, I don't think so. So we're gonna clean this one up. So I'm gonna put this to the side. I'm gonna take my towel, which is still wet, and I'm gonna clean up what is on the outside. Just turning it in circles on it to clean up the nib. And it seems pretty clean, and now I cap it immediately. And you put it away. And that's how you clean them, before you use them and after you use them, and sometimes in between as well. So now I'm gonna do the next color next to it, which is number 8. So that's Earth Tone 21. Let me see, Earth Tone 21, which is this one, I believe. Yes, Earth Tone 21. And oh, this one is perfect. Let's shake it up. You don't have to over shake it, just gently shake it. That should be enough. I'm gonna open it up. It looks very clean, so I think we should be fine. Just to be sure, I'm gonna test it out. Yeah, this looks perfect. That's exactly what we want it to be. So yeah, no need to pump it. We can immediately start using it. But because we just done these bits, they might be a little bit wet. So instead of coloring like this, now I'm gonna move my book 90 degrees like this. And I'm gonna color like this, so I don't, and if this is still wet, you can also turn it another time like this. But then I'm out of frame, so I'm gonna use it like this for now, so you can still see what I'm doing. So this is number 8. So this is already dry, and this is almost dry, so I shouldn't be having any issue, hopefully. This is wrong. I chose a different color. I'm sure I did. Let me see. Yes, this is the Earth Tone 18 that I chose for the beast. So this one is for Belle. So let's move that back. Exactly what I did wrong. Earth Tone 18 instead, which is this one. Yeah, that's what happens. This is skin. This is not earth. Earth Tone. Yes, Earth Tone 18. Let's shake it. It's not shaking, so flicking it. Sometimes you have to be, yes, there it goes. Shaking it up. I hope this isn't too loud for your ears. I'm trying to be gentle. That's also better for the pens. Okay, that should be enough. This one is overflowing now, as you can tell. So this one we need to clean. So I'm gonna first wipe it on the dry bit. And just put it like against it, cleaning it up. Can you see that? Yes, you can. Just like that. It's really nice and flowy, but there's no dry ink on it, as you can tell. So that's good. So now we've cleaned that up. I'm gonna take our, see, this one is much more wet than the other ones were. So we've got to move a little bit faster with this one. So let's try that. As you can see, there's much more ink coming out, so it's much more difficult to control it when it's like this. So if it's still too wet, just fill up like an entire a patch like this, because that usually stops the ink flow from overflowing too much. Some colors just do this. It's not your not something you've done wrong. It's just the way these markers work. So yeah. It's still really flowy. Some colors are just like that, so we've got to work a little bit faster. And that's alright. Just gotta be careful on the outer bits. The inner bits I can do quite quickly. There we go. Then we're gonna do this bit. You can really tell the difference with the previous one and this one. This one is way more flowy, way wetter. And that's just what is normal for some. You will get used to it if this is the case. That's number 9. There's a little tiny patch of number 8 here, which is difficult. Alright, and then this is number 8 as well. As you can see, I'm still going over the lines a little bit, but that's alright because we're doing the black last. And this is the black where we are painting next to. This is his eye, so I want to be careful. I think at least it's his eye. I'm not sure, but I think it is. So yeah, let me know if this is also something you like to do. And if you would like to see more of these kind of color along videos for especially the mystery Disney books. Because I don't mind doing this, but I thought it might be useful to see how I do them. Maybe you can learn something of it, some useful tips maybe, and maybe you don't like it at all. That's also alright. We all like our own things, but I love them. It's very addicting, but they take time because of the way I use my pens. I think this is dry, so let's switch it back because that's easier on my hands. See, now we can already see his face coming in. Wonderful, isn't it? I like to hold my book because then I've got a little bit more control than when I lay it flat because of this that is moving. Then I can hold my hand on the paper so it doesn't move. Because the moment I do this, you see, it moves. And it's even worse if I lay it flat on the table. That's why I'm holding it, and I keep pressure with my hand like that. And we're doing number 8. Yes, we're doing number 8. So there's more 8 over here, and there's also more 8 over here. So let's do that first before I mess it up. It's so flowy, this paint, this one, this specific color. But I do like the look of it next to the other color we chose. So I think we made an okay choice. And if you decided it's the wrong color, you can always go over it once it's dried up and use something completely different. So keep that in mind. If you mess it up, you can still fix it. Because yes, that sometimes happens. Sometimes you think you chose a nice one and it end up looking really ugly. You can always go back in and change it to a different color by going over it once it's dried. But you have to let it dry, otherwise it becomes a mess. Number 8, and no more. Yes, here next to his nose. There we go. Any more? I don't think so. Yes, on her, but that's a different shade. So let's clean this one up before we put the tap on it. It's still wet. It's still wet. Okay, let's wipe it up on the wet part and then on the dry part. And then close it up. Done. And that's how you clean it afterwards. That's easy, right? Okay, we're gonna do number B, the B, just this tiny line, and that's Wildflower 8. Wildflower 8, that should be this one. Wildflower number 8. Yes, this one is stuck, shaking. Come on, yes, there we go. If it's not too bad, I'll keep that in. But yeah, I basically just smacked it on my piece of tissue a few times until it came loose. But this one will probably be overflowing because of that. So keep that in mind while opening up. So I'll put this here. No, it's not too bad, but it does have a lot of dried paint on it. So we're gonna clean that up. I'm gonna add some more water. So I'm gonna put this down and I'm gonna add a little bit more water on my tissue because the other part is dirty. There we go. Closing it off again. And there we go. Now it's wet. And we're gonna clean it up. Yes, it's tedious to do this, but this is the way to keep them clean and working. At least that's what I found. Okay. Bit on the dry part. Yeah, there's no more paint on it. So now I can prime it on my piece of paper. Let's see, it's done. It's not working, as you can see, so I've got to prime it. Press it, slowly release. And there it already comes. See? That's all it took. So don't go pung, 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 because then you've got an overflowing pen. And that's not what you want. So yeah, it's number B. So I'm going to move my book because it's difficult in this position. And this position is much easier for me. And I'm going to make long lines like that. Beautiful. And that's all it is on this side, I believe. I missed that part with number 8, so I will go back in. B, this is number B, yes, wildflower 8, B is probably on her dress. C, B, on her hand. Let me move you a little bit up, yes, now you can see. This is number B. It's her hand, her glove. Sometimes with the light colors you can still see the numbers through it, and if that's the case, just do another coat once it's dry. But usually with these markers you don't have to. They're probably already good enough with one layer that you can't tell. Unless you don't like that you can see them partly through it, then do another layer anyway. Just your own preference. Nobody's telling you to do 3 coats or 2 coats or anything like that. If you don't like it, then yes, but don't do it because I told you to do so. That's also B. And that's also B. Even further. And there we go. I usually color these kind of pages over 2 evenings of sessions that roughly take 2 hours each. But this time I'm taking my time to show you how I start the page, so that already took up some time. So yeah, we're not going to finish this probably in the next 2 hours, but we will see how far we will get. And I might make a clip once I've finished it, so you can see how it turned out. So in case it takes too long, longer than 2 hours, I will do that. I will make a clip on the end once I'm done, because I don't like time lapses. So I will tune in here and there once I'm a little bit further in, so you can still see how it turned out. But at least you will have 2 hours of me coloring like this and see how I handle this. It's not covering entirely. I might go over it a little bit more in a sec once it's dry. There's also a bee over here on the other side. Yeah, it's drying out. Let me pump it a little bit. I wouldn't pump on your book because it leaves a dent in the paper, and if it overflows, you've got one big mess. So yeah, if you pump, do it on a separate piece of paper, not on your book, to avoid making messes or dents, because dents are also still visible once you're done, and I'm sure you don't want to see that. There's also a bee over here. Yeah, it's also B. Sometimes you really have to follow the shape to make sure that that part is also that letter. Like this one is all the way up till there, so you can do it all the way like this. And probably on this one as well. Yes, this whole part is B. But the pen is a bit dry, so I might pump it a little bit more once I've done the lines. And that's also B. It's even more. That's A. Yeah. Alright, so this is B, all of this. So now I'm gonna pump it again. Yes, it's much more juicy now. And I'm gonna fill it. But see, it's now a little bit overflowing. That's what I wanted to do, so I can fill it up easier. So for that kind of situation, it's easier to pump a little bit more than necessary. But for the lines, you want to keep it the flow as light as possible, because then you've got more control. But for filling in, a little bit of flow is nice. Yes. You can hear the scratch sound. Oh, this nib is not really taking it too well. Just keep it in a different position. That helps as well. Still making the scratchy noise. I'm not sure why. It just doesn't like me, I guess. It doesn't matter how I hold it, it's still scratchy. As long as you're not pressing really hard, you should be fine with it making this scraping sound. It's getting dry, so let's pump it. And then we can continue again. As you can see, I'm trying to keep my strokes in the same direction, but sometimes it's easier to make it a different one. That's alright, you won't notice it too much. But as you can tell, maybe you can, maybe you can't, these lines are really black still. So I'm going over a few of them to make them a little bit lighter. And there's also really thick ones over here. If it's not dry enough, you can't do this, because then you would scrape the other paint that you just put down right off. Okay, there's also a little patch of bee over there. Let's fill that up as well. And the bottom part as well. So yeah, I've had a little break from filming. As you might have noticed, my last video was my completed pages video. I hope you enjoyed it. I did. I love showing all my finished pages for the month. It's my favorite video to make and to watch as well. I took this week off of filming so I could watch YouTube while coloring and enjoy all the completed pages videos of everyone. So yeah, that was really nice. I loved seeing some plan videos from some people as well. Adding some pages to my own plans if I've got time. So yeah, you always get inspired by what other people pick. And yeah, that's nice. Let's see, is there any more bee? Not in her earrings. No, I don't think so. So let's clean it up on the wet part. And then a little bit on the dry part. And close it up. There we go. And my cat is waking up. Let's hope she's not coming on the table, because that will make a mess. Let's do a little bit on her skin, so we can at least see a face before we are done for today. But I think we've got 1 more hour or so to go before we are on 2-hour mark. So yeah, let's do something on her face. No, I first need to do that little patch. So earth tone 18. Before I forget, that's skin tone 18. This is earth tone. Shake it up a little bit, because I've already used it, so it doesn't need too much shaking, but like it's overflowing. So that was the really juicy one from a minute ago. And now I can probably use it, yes. So let's do that little bit that we forgot real quick. Yeah, it's really juicy. And let's wipe it off and close it up real quick. And there we go. Alright, that was that one. And then at least I won't forget to add it in. Her skin, the E, which is Wildflower 16. Is this Wildflower 16? It is Wildflower 16. Yes. Shaking it. Alright. And it's also overflowing, so let's wipe it off. And then I want to use the wet part a little bit to take off any dry bits. Yeah, that looks pretty clean. Alright, then it's too dry, so prime it once. That looks perfect. Alrighty, let's see if this is dry, so I can lay my hand there. Alright, let's start a face. This is the right one, right? Yeah. No, Spooky, no. Nee, eraf. Goed zo. That was my cat trying to walk on it. But if she does, she will have paint on her paws, and that's not something we can do. So not right now. This is the only time that my cat really can't go on top of it, or else she will have paint everywhere. This is all E. Yes, it's all E. Okay. That's D. This is also E. Okay. That's her eyebrow. And that's D. This is E. All the way down to her nose. And the other side is also E. All the way down. Around the nose to her lip. Around her lip. And underneath her lip there is some D. Yes, I already love her. Alright, let's move up again before I start putting my hand into the paint. E, 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 always E. All the way to I again. That's D, okay. Around her eyebrow. And the D is only on top of her eye, okay. Not below. So this part is also all E, as is this part. It's quite a lot of this one color. Sometimes it looks much harder than it actually is because of really tiny bits, but this one has quite big and a highly visible part. The Princess's book that I also own has a lot more smaller sections, and it can be tough to figure out where to color which color. These ones are really easy. That's why we are using it for today. And now I can fill in all of this, not this part. So let's make also a line here. And now I can fill it in slowly, bit by bit. Now if you do own the medium marker or the bigger ones, you can use your big one to fill this up much quicker than I can. But yeah, I don't want to buy just a medium one just to fill things up. I think one is more than enough. And for me it's really the doing it, not only the end result. Doing it is what is really relaxing for me. Seeing it slowly come together. And you don't have to stick to one bit in the picture. You can skip from there to there to there in the middle, whatever you like. There's no order. You can just do whatever. Like I first did a little bit on the beast, then a little bit on her glove, and now I'm doing a face. And if I want to not finish her face, I can also skip to his jacket. It really doesn't matter as long as everything is colored in the end. But yeah, I like to leave the best for last, which is Belle. But because I'm not gonna record the whole thing, at least I don't think I will, because I only want to record for 2 hours, and this will take more than 2 hours. I will show you a little bit of her while we are coloring. Of course I will show you the finished piece once I finish it, either tonight or tomorrow, because right now it's still afternoon for me, just before dinner time. So I will have a break after I'm done filming for these 2 hours, and then I will have some dinner, and then I might finish it up afterwards, and otherwise I'll finish it up tomorrow. We will see. It all depends on how I'm feeling. Okay, priming it a little bit. I expected more variation in her skin, but I guess not. I guess it's just one big blob of this color. It does make it really easy though. Priming a little bit more, it's still a bit dry. Oh, now it's really a bit too juicy. Let's work a little bit faster. There's still some lines really visible, so I'm going over them one more time. And then I will call it good on that part. Let me see if I forgot any on her face. No, not that I think of. Then let's move on to her neck. So here, let's move that out of the way before it is stuck in the paint. You don't want that to happen. It's all of this, and there's some D over here, but only on this bit. Again, a lot of the light color. But yeah, outlining it makes it a lot easier, as you can tell. So then afterwards you don't have to do any thinking anymore. You can just slowly fill it in. And you can do this with any acrylic marker. It doesn't have to be Tooly Art. But yeah, just keep in mind that if they are not as much coverage, you have to go over it twice, at least. But with these, you're probably good with one layer. I never go over it the second time unless it's a really light color. Even lighter than this, like almost like a pale white or something, you know. Then yes, I might go over it the second time, but that's the exception. Usually this is enough. Just one coat. I actually saw on the Instagram that there is a new princess book coming out of this series from Hachette Heroes. And it's tome 2 of the princesses. I can't wait. It will be here in August, so that's still a little time away. But yeah, I don't want to... It's dried up again. Let me pump it. I don't want to buy it immediately, because I'm trying to keep myself to a limited... I try to limit how much I buy, because I've got quite a few books now. Not of this one, just 2 of the mystery books. But yeah, I don't want to buy a new one before I finish the other one. So once I've done 100 pages, whether it is in my princess book or in this book, but together, if I've done 100 pages, then I can pick out a new one, because then I always have tops 200 pages to color. So if I, for instance, want a book which only has 50 pages, then I first need to complete 50 pages in any of these books before I am allowed to buy it from myself. That way I can keep my my hoarder syndrome of Disney books under control, because yeah, Disney is my weak spot. And if I wouldn't limit myself to that, I would just buy all of them. And then they would all be uncolored, and that would be a shame, because I want to see them all filled up. I actually had this idea because I was watching Celia, which is she's a French YouTuber, and she also had, she has a lot of these Disney books, but she has been doing it for years, so she kept buying them every single time. So she has like 16 books or something like that, I believe. And probably a lot of you probably also have that many if you are coloring since the beginning, since they came out, which was around 2012, somewhere around that time, I think, when they started producing these books. And yeah, she was like, no, I can't buy any more, because she was just gathering them rather than coloring in them. So yeah, she now has this sheet with all kind of blocks on them, so that she can color one block for each page that she did, until she finally has finished her stash of Disney book mystery books. And then she will consider buying a new one, which I think was really a good idea, to keep it under control, because you easily buy way too many of these books. I completely understand why you would do so. What is this then? Is that also E? E. It's almost as if you're doing a puzzle sometimes. Yes, it's all the way. All right. That was confusing. Yeah, I thought that was a really good idea to do, to limit yourself from buying by saying that you first need to color an X amount, for instance, you know, like 100 or 10. Maybe you don't want to color entire book before you buy a new one. Maybe you just want to color a quarter of it, so 25 pages. But yeah, I'm going to be really strict, and I'm going to say I want to color 100 in total, and then that means I can buy a new one because I finished one. So yeah, I'm going to keep myself to that. So it will be a while before I can buy a new one, so I can dream about my my second Princess tome. Volume 2. Here I come. Yeah, I'm probably gonna focus on coloring in the Grand Classique Tome 1, which is this book, as much as possible. So I'm not gonna touch my Princess book. Well, I'm gonna try to, at least, so that I will finish this book sooner, because I like this book a lot less than the other one. I'm sorry. That was tough to say. And yeah, there are a lot of princesses in the other book, as the name suggests, duh. And this one has a lot of the other movies as well. So there's a lot of non-princess pictures. And I just prefer the princess pictures. Yeah, I think that was all in this color. So let's clean this one up. Yeah, okay. On the wet bit. Let's solve the dried up paint. Yes. All right, let's do the D on her skin, which I chose Wildflower 12. This one. Yes. And again, it's stuck. What is that? Oh, it's a little bit of dried up paint. Yes, it's coming loose. I can hear it coming loose. Yes. Sometimes it's stuck in there. You really have to use some force to make it move. It's annoying. In order to avoid that, I usually shake them once every 2 weeks. And then I also swatch them, just like a few lines on my paper, on this swatch paper. Like 1, 2, and clean it, put it back. So they are all not drying out, because sometimes if you don't use them for that long, they also dry up a little bit, and it's better to keep them mixed and use them a little bit to keep them nice and smooth without ruining them. It's a little bit of a pain to do that, but I've found it really helpful. Let me see, is this dark enough as a, let me see, as a shade? Maybe I should pick a darker one. No, this is alright. I don't want it too dark. I could make it darker later if I don't like it in the end. But for now, let's just keep it. It also dries up a little bit darker than when you apply it. It looks a lot lighter. I should have done this first before doing the other part. Now I've got to be careful. Yes, also this part. And her nose. I should do the left side first because I'm a right-handed person, and otherwise I will smear it on my hand and my sweater and anything that touches it. It dries up quite quickly, so it's not like that terrible if it does happen, and you can remove it with water easily, so it's not that much of a problem. But I don't like to get dirty. I'm usually really clean while painting as well. That's just the way I am. Organized and like to keep things clean. I'm actually autistic, so that's probably also a reason why I'm really organized and why I like to have a clear structure in my day. I like to do everything at the same times. So I'll wake up every day at the same time. I eat at the same time. I go to bed at the same time. It's just what works best for me. If I deviate from it, I become really tired usually, or overwhelmed is the better word to use. And I can really notice it the day after, because then I just have to, as if you run the marathon the day before. You're so tired because you overstimulated yourself. So yeah, that's why I also like to keep myself from coloring all day, because yes, I could do that, but I also have other hobbies that I like to do. So I like to keep it in chunks of 2 hours or so. So I usually put an alarm on for myself, so I don't sit here like for 4 hours straight, forget to eat, forget to drink, because I haven't even took a sip of my drink while sitting here right now. So let me do that real quick before I dry out. Because I usually forget everything when I'm filming. That's the only downside. I got my trusty bottle with watery lemonade. Oh, my wheelchair is still on. Oh my god, that scared me. Let's put that off. It's my electric wheelchair. That's what I use during the day. But yeah, I had it still on, so I was poking the there's a poke on it, like a joystick kind of thing, and I bumped my elbow in it, and I moved. I was like, oh no, what's happening? Oh, so I turned it off. So yeah, if you heard some noises, that was my wheelchair. The motor coming into action. It's really handy, electric wheelchair. That makes me, it's my means to go outside, because without it I wouldn't come very far, because my hands, yes, I'm really strong because I've got to do everything with my arms, but my hands, if I have to grip only my hands, my strength falls away sometimes. So then you can't move your wheels with your hands, so that's difficult for like a short while, yes, but if I have to really go a few miles or something, or kilometers, or whatever you use, it's a no-go for me. Like going to my mailbox and back, yes, that's okay. But anything further than that, it's too much for my hands. So that's why I use my electric wheelchair when I go outside. Inside, I usually sit in it as well, because it's both for inside and outside. But during the morning and evening, I'm in my manual wheelchair, the one that you have to push yourself. Because that's just better, you know, because you're still not really awake and you're a little bit drunk from sleeping and that kind of stuff. So yeah, then I usually sit in my manual wheelchair, and also in the evening because it's easier for in the bathroom with brushing teeth and some stuff. And next to my bed is also easier to maneuver and park it next to my bed. But yeah, I'm really happy with my electric wheelchair. Then I can at least go for a stroll, I wanted to say. For a roll. Let's call it that, for a roll. And get my own groceries. Because, yeah, that's what I can still do, luckily. There's always people that want to help me, luckily, with taking stuff from higher shelves. They're really friendly now. When I was sitting in the manual wheelchair and I had someone pushing it, that was completely different. They only talked to the person behind the wheelchair, not the one in it, which was really not fun, difficult. Let's just call it that. Yeah. But now that I'm driving my own wheelchair, the electric one, that's not happened since. Oh, there's some more of the light skin tone over here. Well, let's do that after we finish the D. Let's just finish this part and then go back to the E. And then we will do her lips and her eyes, just because I want to see it before we stop. Because that's the best part of the whole page. Yeah. I love Beauty and the Beast. I've got a lot of Blu-ray and DVDs, all in one drawer next to my TV. And I usually watch a movie every weekend, or at least I try to. And yeah, I really like it. But I had some Disney Plus on for the last few months because they had a sale for a few months. So I'm watching the new movies like Wish. And yeah, I think it was nice. The music was quite nice. The idea was also nice. It was not too bad. I liked it. So that was my movie for this week. The E. That was Wildflower 16. And we already used it, so I'm just gonna shake it a little bit. And I'm gonna let the air out and gonna use it. Yes, it's still working. Then usually it doesn't need pumping if you used it not too long before. You can just go back in, like you can see. And if it's not flowy enough, you can still pump it. If you don't like how dry it is. Because it can still feel dry. Yeah, see, it's a little bit dry because it has laid down a little bit. So the paint in the tip is dried up a little bit while we left it. That happens. That's why I usually clean it before use, so you don't get anything in the way of the flow. Like now it's not flowing at all, so I have to pump it. Damn it. I wish I didn't have to, because now it's overflowing, as you can see. Okay, let's put it a little bit on the paper to the side so it's not as flowy anymore before I cap it. Because otherwise there will be a lot of spilled paint on the sides if I do so. Alright, then I want to work on her lips, but this is now wet, so I shouldn't. But I want to. No, let's do a little bit of his coat. Number 3, which is Blue Purple 7, which is this one. A lovely blue. And the rollerball is stuck again. Yes, there we have it. if you were wondering what I'm doing outside of View to make it loose, it's like doing this move, but then like bam, you know, like with strength in the air to release the paintball inside. So I'm not like doing this movement, I'm literally flicking in order to release it. And now it has overflown. That's usually the case. Once the ball is stuck, it usually overflows because of it. You shake it a bit too much. But yeah, it's alright. We can clean it up. Luckily. Okay, the flow is good. Let's change the book position to make it easier on myself. Because we're gonna color this bit. Okay, let's do it. And then hopefully, once we've done this bit, we can work a little bit more on her face. Let's do a little bit of everything. The background is boring to show you, so you don't mind if I don't show you that, but a little bit of her face is the best thing to show. And his jacket is also a really nice color. I like this color blue. So yeah, that's why we're also showing you this. But it's having a little bit of trouble. Oh, it was probably the tip being a little bit stubborn. Yeah, let's pump it a little bit more. Yeah, it's fine now. A little bit too fine. Okay, let's fill it in then. That's what I mean. You easily pump it too much and then it becomes really flowy. That's the sad part about these pens. You have to be careful while pumping, or else it will be overflowing like it does now. And yes, for filling up, that is really nice, as you can see, because then you can just do la 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 la. And it goes really nice, as you can tell. But doing the lines next to the parts that you don't want to paint, it's really tough, because you've got less control over the paint. So that's why I usually start with the outline and then pump it a little bit more afterwards to get the paint flowing, to fill it in quicker. But for the first bit I want the flow to be a lot less, to make it easier on myself, because now the flow is already much less than it was when just after pumping. That's good. So now I can slow down a little bit. But yeah, I usually move my book up, down, left, right, whatever it's easier on my hand to fill it in. Even while filming I do that, so you get an idea of how I really do it, and not like, oh, you have to see it, so I'm doing it this way. No, this is how I do it always. So it's much more realistic of what you can expect to do yourself as well. Because you don't want to see the picture perfect up view, and that's not how you really have to do it while doing it yourself. Then you think you must do it as well like that. No. You can move it all around. You can do that with any coloring book, but with these ones it's extra important, especially if you use paint pens, because if you put your hand in it, yeah, it's dirty. It's not nice feeling to have paint on your hand. It's water soluble, so you can just wash your hands and it's gone, but I don't like to have paint on my fingers and my hand. Don't like the feeling. The flow is still pretty nice, so I don't think I need to pump it for this bit. I think I will be fine to just do it like this. If I don't need to pump, I will not, because overflowing is difficult to handle with this. I rather have the ink or the paint to go like this. I have to go a little bit slower. But yeah, it's getting dry now. Damn it. I have to pump it. No. I wish I didn't have to. I was doing so well. That's because you're using a lot of paint by covering a whole bunch of surface at a time. The flow can't keep up. So that's why it usually dries out a little bit. So if you go a bit slower, you probably will not have to pump at all, maybe. I usually just do it like this. I don't like to wait for too long. There's more number 3 over here. Let me move you a little bit. Over here. That's number 2. Number 3 goes still there. Just this part, I think. Yeah, this is all 2. And this is number 3. And there we go. And there's a little bit more there. Really tiny bits, but I'm gonna move the book a little bit to make it easier. Pump it a little bit so the flow of the paint is better. And there we go. Filling it up. There's some white blotches here and there. I like to cover it nice and smooth. Not that you can really see the difference. Well, you can see the strokes you make once it dries up, but I don't mind. That's just the way it goes with these pens. If you use the brush tip, you probably will not see that as much as with these. But I don't care. I'm okay with the look. For me, it's more like doing this that really calms me down. That's why I'm probably also sometimes talking really not loud. The opposite, you know what I mean. I can't find the word. Really softly. Yes, that's it. So yeah, but that's also something I do while coloring normal pages. I just talk softer and softer and softer until you barely can hear me, because I'm getting more chill by the minute, you know, getting in the zone. And that's usually also when the focus kicks in and I'm going in Speedy Gonzales mode, as I call it. Because usually on camera I don't go in that mode because I'm talking and thinking, so it's not as fast. That's just the way it is. Let me move my keyboard a little bit so I can move it up. Because I think there was a little bit more. Where was it? Oh, it's here. No. Let's do that later. Let's clean it. And first do her face. Because otherwise I cannot put my hand there again. Because I want to do her face. So I have to lay my hand. Otherwise I might smudge it. Alright, let's do her lips. Her lips were number 5 for the top lip. So that's Wildflower 14. That is this lovely color. Oh yeah, one of my favorites. And the bullet is going. Good. Usually the ones that I like to use most are like easier to shake. The ball is already rolling by itself. So yeah, it's good to know. Let's clean this up as well. Oh, it's a bit dry. Let me put some water on it. I put the lid on really tight. Alright, put the lid back up. There we have it. Clean up my hand. Open up my paint pen. And clean it up. Yeah, it's really clean already. Alright, let's move it a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. That's working perfectly fine for our lips. Number 5, check. Wildflower 14, yes. Before I use the wrong color and ruin it all. Let me see, that's number 1. Okay, so only the top bit. This is the most important part of the whole picture. Her lips. Don't want to mess this up, don't I? That would look funny. And that's it. That's all it takes on her lips. Oh, that was it. Okay, clean it up. And close it. Done. Alright, the other one on her lips is Wildflower 19. Wildflower 19. Which is my other favorite color. Oh, pinks. And it's also shaking really well because of it. Because I love these wildflower colors. Look how lovely. Pinks and purples. But I thought I wanted more blues because there's not many blues on here. So I bought the blues as well. But not all of them are open stock. Only the essential set and the earth tone, I believe, are open stock. Then you can take a pack of 4, I believe you can buy. And the other ones that I own, like the wildflower, you cannot. So yeah, keep that in mind if you want to buy these. So these colors are not open stock, but these ones are, and the top ones are. And the one on the other part are also not open stock, those sets. At least that's what I think, as far as I have seen on the website. Yes, that's for number 6. It's the bottom lip. Lovely pink. Oh yes, I love it. I'm taking my time for these lines. I don't want to mess this one up. Slowly taking my time. That's the same with the lines in the end. You want to take your time, so don't rush it. If you're gonna rush, you better just stop, you know, and just continue another day, because it's not worth it. It will mess up all your hard work that you've done just to finish it up quick. No, that's not what you want to do. That's how to ruin it. So that's why I usually do it over 2 days, because at the end I'm otherwise too tired. All right, let's do our eyes. Number 7. Earth tone 21. That's this one. Nice warm brown. It should be the same one as that one, but I chose a different one for him than her eyes and her hair, because I didn't like it. It's this lovely color. Let me see. Yeah, there's some dried up paint. Let me clean that. If you do that every time when you start and stop, your pens stay quite clean and you don't have any issues. But yeah, it's still a step you need to do every single time you open one, you close one. So if that's annoying to you, then yeah, this might not be the tool for you. 21, that's number 8. That's not number 7 for her eyes. Or that's her hair. Okay, let's do her hair then instead. Yeah, number 8. Yeah, it's okay. I chose the wrong color. I picked the wrong color out of my storage thing. I looked at the wrong one. I thought it was number 8, but it's number 7 on her eyes. Which is also in her hair. Do I like this? Yes, I like it. It's nice and warm. But yeah, if you don't have the exact shade, just find something that looks good to you, you know? Every paint marker set has its own color, so you are limited to what you have. So if you don't have the exact match, just try to look for a light, a medium, and a dark. Usually, it's usually what is enough. Not for all pages, because some pages have a lot of colors. But for the most, yes, it's enough. Especially in this book. There are not too many colors. It's a nice one for beginners. It's also number 8. Yeah, I'm messing this up. Like now, I went over the lines and it's not really smooth. I can easily clean that up with my black marker afterwards. So I don't have to worry about it being a little bit wobbly. It's sometimes difficult to keep straight lines next to it. That's also why I'm putting my my whole hand and arm down, so I've got more control over the movements that I do. Because if you do it like this, you're like, oh no, no. It doesn't work as great. Let me see, number 7. This is all number 8. Okay. That's why I'm using my my surface to steady my hand. This is also number 7, so number 8 is this part. Okay, that's also a mistake, so that's something I can cover with the next color. It's alright, I can fix that. That happens also, that you fill in the wrong spots. Sometimes you do a whole section with the wrong one, but that can be hard because then you can't read the numbers anymore, so you have to remember what you used. So yeah, sometimes it's just what it is and you just have to go with it, but this is still okay, I can still fix it easily. But yeah, I've once done that I painted the wrong color on like a section as large as this, and then I had to redo it, but I just took whatever. I had no idea which one it should be, so I just picked one that suited the picture in the back. Because I did it wrong. And I noticed it when I was almost done. I was like, oh no, what did I do? You can still fix it. So yeah, I had a lovely week. We have had a new patch for our game. So we've got a new area to explore, and new things to collect, new things to find out. It's just nice. It's really nice. At first it was a little bit stressful because we had so much to do and so little time in comparison. So we had to pick what we were going to do first. And at first we were like, oh, it's too much, it's too much. But at some point we realized that it wasn't too much. Is this number 1? Yeah, that's number 1. Okay. That's the wrong part. I should call it the part underneath it. And yeah, by just starting somewhere, we actually came to the conclusion that it's not too bad. And that the way we are doing it now is actually just fine. We don't need to spend any more. That's number B, that's the yellow. For her metal in her hair, her clip or whatever it is. Her jewelry. So yeah, we have been playing in the new area for the last week or so. It came out on Monday. And today it is... What is it today? Saturday, I believe? Yes. So it has been out for a couple of days now, 5 days or so, 6. And we've enjoyed ourselves. And we still have a lot to do, but yeah, it is fun doing new stuff. There's always a lot to do then. But we have no, we don't have to rush it, you know? You can just take our time. Which we like to do. We like to enjoy the story quest and follow along. Take all the quests we can see. Not just the main storyline, also everything that is a side story. They're usually, some of them are sometimes like tiny little fun stories. And yes, they had one too this time. It was really nice, I loved. And then the day after that I did that quest with my sister, I actually could earn the pet that was in the quest. And I was like, look, it's the cute little little pet. So of course I need to earn that one. There's like a quest you have to do, and you have to do like assignments, you know, you have to do like 10 times this, 10 times that. All kind of activities inside the game. And once you completed an X amount, like I think you had to do 18 tasks. And if you did that, then you get the little pet for free. I love it. I totally love it. So yeah, of course I've got to do that. So we spent some time on that today. So hopefully tomorrow, when I log into the game, I get my last task complete for logging in and claiming my reward. And I will have my tiny little baby pet. Oh yes, I love it. I love my pets in the game. They just walk with you, you know, you can summon them and then they walk next to you. And they some have like little actions that they do, like a salto or a backflip or jumping or sleeping. Or they all have their own animation, every little pet in the game. And it's really fun. I love it. I usually match the pets with my characters. Like a mount for what you can ride on, like a horse, or a big cat, like a lion or a tiger. You can match it, you know, like if you have a tiger to ride on, you also want a pet that fits with the theme of your look. So if you have a black look, you want a black pet, for instance, you know, and so on and so on. This is also hair. So yeah, that's what I usually like to do. But I've got like really cute and fluffy animals as companions, not the ugly, mean pets. I don't like them. I like the fluffy, cute ones. I don't like the nasty looking ones. And there's a lot of them in Elder Scrolls. I still collect them, but I don't want to use them. It's funny. Some 8 over here on their tail. Yeah, we're 1 hour and 45 minutes in, roughly. So my alarm will probably go off in about 15 minutes from now. So I put it on 2 hours. So we have a nice big chunk. I might end up recording the whole thing and just place the second part as part 2 if I'm still up for it. But that will be after dinner, not before. So I will finish this session and then after dinner I will record the second bit. And then you can see the whole process. I think that will be better. I think that feels better to me. I don't like doing it halfway. Is this dry? Yes, it is, but there's a little bit sticking. Okay, let's move that. All right, your eyebrows are also number 8. There we go. Nice and brown. And there we go. That's all the number 8 on her. Lovely warm brown, like in the movie. It's even a little bit darker in the movie, but I don't have anything for the darker shade otherwise. So yeah, sometimes you have to go a little bit lighter than you want, because you don't have the right color otherwise. Number 7. Let's pick the right one this time. Earth Tone 15. Is it this one? Yes, Earth Tone 15. Check. This time I picked the right one for her eyes. Yay! It only took 2 tries, which is funny. Okay, let's yeah, it's also overflowing, so let's clean that up. And once your paper is completely filled with paint, you can just fold it differently. Like, see, you can open it up and you can use the other sides. You don't have to toss it out. Okay, let's press it to release the air, and then we should be able to use it. Yes, perfect. All right, I remove the hair, remove my sleeve. Let me see, this is a little bit wet. Let's do it like this. This is dangerous. Why am I doing this? Because I need to do her eyes, that's why. Focus. So I don't mess up her eyes. If I mess this up, I'm gonna be so sad. I can of course redo it, but to do it right in one go is the best. There we have it. Perfect. Right. Okay, now we can do her hair. Now I am not afraid anymore to use it. Like being really gentle on her eyes, and then on the rest of the bits, like, oh no. Yeah, this is less important. If I mess this up a little bit, it's alright. It still looks fine, you know, but if you go even a little bit out of the line, it looks horrible on her eye or her lips. So yeah, slow down if you've got parts like that. Number 7 is this part that we messed up. As you can see, it's covered really easily with a different color. It's no issue whatsoever. I'm thinking of flipping it a little bit to make it easier. And I went over the line. It happens sometimes. I can fill that up with black afterwards. Can still see through it, so that's alright. Same with this oopsie. It should also be black. Oh, I've got an itch. Hold on. Oh. Right underneath my glasses. That's so annoying when that happens. Like an itch. It's gone now, luckily. But it can be really annoying, especially if it's underneath your glasses. There we go. It's a bit dry now, so that's why you also hear the sound of the tip scraping on the paper. But I don't want to prime it again until I've done all these lines. So I like the control it gives me. But you can see that it leaves streaks sometimes. There's not enough paint flowing for it to be a completely filled line sometimes. Not every single time, but some lines, as you can tell, are a bit drier than others. It will still do the job. But for the big parts I need to pump again. For the lines I don't. Because I'm working slow enough for the paint to keep up. Mostly. There we go. A tiny bit. I really like watching the flip throughs of the solutions of these books to see what every book has in them, because some books are just nicer than others. At least that's what I think. So if you want to just buy one, then you can pick your favorite, you know, instead of just buying one and then being disappointed. Because that happens. Because if you don't know what's in the back, sometimes the picture on the front of the book is really nice. And then you look at the answer key inside and you're like, that's not really what I expected when seeing the cover, you know. And yes, we all have our favorites. So if you've got particular movies you like to see more of them instead of movies that you like a lot less. And that's what happened in this book. There are a lot of movies that I like a lot less. And in the princess movie, yeah, princesses, what's there not to like? The only thing that I think of the princess book is that there's a lot of Moana. So it probably came out around the time when Moana was released. Because that's what they tend to do. When a movie comes out, there's a lot of that movie in the book that came out around that time. So that's the part I don't like that much. Because there's a lot of Moana. Not a tiny bit, just a lot. Way more than the other princesses. If it was more divided through all of them, I would be happier. But yeah, we can't pick. It's still the best book in my opinion. For me. Because I like the princesses most. I also like Bambi and Lady and the Tramp, but for coloring I prefer the princesses. I also like the little animals, like horses or the mouses from Cinderella, or the animals in Snow White. I like those as well, the little ones. Mushu, don't forget Mushu. Like the sidekicks. That's the word for it, right? Yeah, sidekicks. I like those as well. But yeah, usually you see the main character in every page. But there are also side characters, because last time I colored that ugly man with his laser gun. And I didn't know his name. I still don't. It doesn't matter. I colored him. I usually go in order, but because there were prompts that I wanted to follow from hashtags, I picked those pictures that fit that theme for now, for this time. I might do that next month as well, but if there are no tags that I can find in the book, I just continue from the front onwards, like I have been doing, because I don't really mind coloring any of them. It's really about the process for me with these books. But of course it's nice if it's your favorite movie that starts to appear. But that's not always the case. Especially with this book. I don't like a lot of them. I didn't know that when I bought it. Now I wish I would have done a little bit more research before I bought it. There we go. And a little bit over here. And then we've done all the brown on her hair. Let me see, what time is it? Yeah, it's almost 2 hour mark. I think we're finishing up the hair, and then I will do a little bit on her eyes, and then we'll take a break, and then I will see you for part 2 on a different day probably. I'll post it probably the day after this one, if I manage to do it today. If not, it will be a day later. Just depends on how much energy I have once I have had some sleep and food and all that stuff. And maybe I then don't feel like coloring this anymore and I want to continue tomorrow. It all depends. I think that was it. Yes, that was it. Okay, let's clean it up. And a little bit on the wet part. There we go. Clean. Close it. Okay, let's do some black for her eyes. And I think this is the one that doesn't flow too much. I've got like multiple black pens, and some of them have like a really big flow. This is almost empty, that's why it makes a lot more noise. And the other one is like a lot less flowy, so it's easier for the small lines. Sometimes you just have the pen that is really willing to flow, and others are not. So I'm not sure if this is the flowy one or if this is the okay one. I'm not sure, but it looks fine. Okay, let's do some, is this still, it might be. Let's do her left eye. Just to show you. Still have to do the background, so this is not really a good thing to do, but just to show you before we finish this part up. Don't want to leave you hanging. I think to wait. So we just do this one eye and then we stop. Let me take off the alarm before it scares me and I make a whole mess of this. Yeah, there it goes. Just in time for not making a mess. That would be a shame if I then got scared of the alarm and jumped and made a big mess of this. It's not what we want to do, is it? I'm also gonna put a line there just because I like it. Shouldn't be there, but I like it anyway. There's one here. Yeah, this is the really flowy pen. That's why it's a lot less thin. I should have moved to the other one, but it's alright for this side. Just for this tiny bit. And then I'm gonna have a break. And then I'm gonna hopefully do the rest of it. So yeah, this is where I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna close it now. Not cleaning it today. So yeah, that's what this is how far I got in 2 hours, roughly. Because I also took some time to pick out my colors. I usually do like, let me remove this so I can show you what I mean. This is still wet, so let's keep it. I'm gonna move to the beginning. Like, for instance, these ones, you can see I already written down the colors. And for the right page as well. And for these ones, I did them, I do like 4 at a time. But yeah, this was the Mr. Ugly that I don't know the name of. So I call him Mr. Ugly. He's from Pixar movies. So yeah, I don't know my Pixar that well. It's not my favorite Pixars. So yeah. So yeah, that's what I usually do to color these books. And then I end with the black lines, as you just saw. But I really take my time for them because I want it to look nice. So yeah, that's how we do it. So this is what we're going to do for this session. And I hope to see you in part 2 where I do everything else, because I haven't done really that much in this session. Usually I get halfway the page, and now it feels like I'm not halfway down the page, but that's also because I didn't do the background, and that's really easy. So yeah, keep that in mind. So yeah, I will do another 2-hour session next time, and we will finish this up together. So I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions about Disney mystery books, or you want me to do a flip through of the solutions on either this book or my princess's book, let me know. I'm happy to do so. But yeah, this is where I'm gonna leave you, and I hope to see you for part 2. Bye bye.